you make that button? Okay, looking down. I'll be quicker through looking down. Yeah, you've got a beautiful shot. You've shot it out the window of the plane as you've flown over. I've also done it. And to get a little bit more contrast, maybe, it's called dehaze in Photoshop. If you dehaze it, it's remarkable. You might have already dehazed it. I can't say that you have or haven't. It's just a suggestion. If you have an image out of the plane shooting through the plastic and the glass windows, double windows like that, you find it takes a lot of image quality out, but using dehaze, it brings it back. And yeah, you've got the iconic centre subject, the bridge, and the city over to the side. You've done the whole of the bay. It's a nice looking down shot.
Queen Victoria Building.
Yeah, the ghostly figures going about their business is the draw. You've got the warm light in here and the cool light coming in. So you've played really nicely. The clock, I think, is older made more of the clock up in the corner. But the figures that are going about their business in the arcade, I think that's the draw. Plus you've got people going and coming as well. It's clever.
Protective touch.
Rochelle, is this yours? Rochelle, did you have the baby? Because these people are magic. He's like Superman, he's holding the baby there without touching it, and she's holding the baby there. Yeah, I know what you've done, and I know why you've done it. And here, they're both of them, you know, with the wrist tattoo, they're comforting and they're going to support this child through its life. Now, you've got like the tonal range, you've got everything. I understand the story with the hands, and I think whatever you've got it in the basket, you're using the hands to cover the basket or whatever it was lying in.
Black.
Okay, black felt. There's nothing wrong with it. I just find I mean, as far as a strong graphic goes, the round with the baby cradled in it, I like that aspect of it. I just felt I like the looking down angle. Sorry.
That's okay. St Mary's Cathedral.
Definitely looking down. You've got, the old, you've got two subjects here, and they both draw my interest. So I look at that as a subject. When you hear that comment, what they're struggling to tell you is you've got some picture elements that are very weighted. This is very weighted. So this doesn't take up, 50%, but it's at least 70% of the image. This, with its lines leading out, this is a very strong, heavy picture element. And you've got them so that they're not that close. There's a road dividing. So as of here, there's a shot there and there's a shot there. But you've combined them, and you've got the fountain leading to the church or whatever it may be, and they're vying for our attention. Now, can I look at them and say, oh yeah, I know where that is, that's taken from the Centre Point Tower in Sydney? I don't know if it is, but I haven't been in Sydney for a long time. 93, wasn't it? Probably the last time I was in Sydney. So, if you give two very heavily weighted graphical sections to an image, and you don't combine them in some way, then they compete. And so when you hear that comment, they're saying you've got two elements that are about evenly weighted. I don't know which one you want me to look at. Is this the subject, this is the counterpoint, or is this the subject and that's the counterpoint? And so you look at it and you go, oh geez, can't decide. Oh, forget it, I'm not going to look at it anymore. Okay, next. I don't say that often, there's only 3 images, that's one of the 3 times I've had that, where I can't decide what it is.
Washed over.
Okay, you've got black and white image and you've drawn my attention to 3 stones. Now, you've made them in a triangle, which is fine. This one is very much like all the rest of them, apart from these lighter ones. This is nice, but this has got texture to it. It's also got quartz inclusions in it. I think that is your subject, and I think that is your counterpoint, and that is, father, mother, child. You've separated, you've got separation. I don't see the story, and I know you've done it, and it's the sort of stuff you'll see in, Freedom Furniture, and people will hang it in their house and say, my God, look at this, isn't it beautiful? It fits with the dry stone. I don't know. I don't see enough story, but you have got detail in the shadows, you've got detail in the highlights. As far as black and white, no, sorry, we're not in black and white anymore, are we? I understand what you've done and why you've done it. I just don't get the story or what you find significant about it.
Road to Mount.
Now, I play a stupid game which is called Guru Shots, which is mainly out of Europe. And I've seen this road at night with cars, long exposure with cars winding up it. Now, you've got to give me a different angle. I don't know if you've walked up from a bus down here that's pulled up and you're on a bus tour and you've come up to the prayer.
It's China.
China.
It's China, yep.
Yeah, I don't know if you've walked up, wherever it is. I've seen lots of photos of that at night with the roads lit up, and they've come up to the prayer thing. You've got electric, that's a lot of the story is there on that electricity tower. It's possibly a tower that's got power, and maybe after you've come up the road you do need to be blessed before you drive back down. Yeah. The story, you framed the subject, which is this is the subject and that's the counterpoint. And there's lots to it. I like the image. It's colourful. I just don't know what else you could do to improve that one. But if you love it, then that's the whole point of what we are here for.
Montague Beach.
Montague Beach. These plants are growing in a very harsh, there's a snow, there's 3 snail shells in there, so it's obviously a beach, and it's very salty, and how this plant is flowering in the salty environment, I don't really know, but it's a very interesting place for the flowering plant to grow. Oh, and they're all in category, they're all looking down, none of them don't fit with looking down. But this one, I went just recently out to Esther, had the country garden weekend, and I pulled up just out of view down here, trying to find where we could get past to shoot the water that's coming over the dam wall. And I got down here, but still couldn't see it. And I pulled up here, and a truck nearly as he came. So you've done it with your drone, and yeah, you've got very interesting. The world is curved out behind it. It's a very interesting view of Wivenhoe actually having water flow out of it for once. It's good looking down, it's very dramatic, and it's rare. It's something that I've not yet seen before.
And that's the Hinns Dam spilling over.
Hinns Dam?
Is that right? Right?
Hinns Dam, back with Gold Coast.
Okay. Alright, well I didn't park down here. Geez, it looks like you're from the air, you could be anywhere, couldn't it? Sorry. See, I'm analysing it. Oh, bloody idiot, thank God for analysing it. Okay.
Down at the beach.
Down, yeah, that's what I should say. Well, hang on. Yes, I haven't seen, no. Okay. So we've got looking down the canoes, there's a beautiful, like for colour, you've got really good colour. The fact that there's one wave, there's a variation, so you've got 3 boats with the one in the middle. These are obviously there, they're tied up so they don't get washed away. It's a very colourful looking down. You can see he's got his net, his bait bucket, his esky, the wave coming in the corner, so there's story, colour. It's a nice creative looking down.
And that's 3rd place for Stephen Fraser. Line marking practice.
Yeah, the fact that there's this one white squiggle there, all the others, the hoons have got out to wherever this is. You've got, like the fire break, the pine trees for Christmas, the road running back through it. And just this one white skid mark for me, that's the thing that stands out. And so when I look at that, I'll go, well, is it line marking practice like the name of it? Did they actually have a big count at lunch and they were drawing the lines really badly? And Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner, were causing havoc. But there's a lot of story on the road. It's symmetrical to some extent, and it's a very imaginative. It's a really nice looking down shot, and it's the sort of shot that when you see it, you go, yeah, maybe I should buy a drone because I've been toying with the idea for years, but I keep going, could I justify it?
It's a lot of fun.
I know. I see shots like this are the ones that make me want to buy it again.
And that's second place for Ron Miller. Go Another Way.
Yeah, go another way. I would have called it if this was mine. If it's flooded, forget it. And that's what I would have called it. Look, you got he's pulled up. He could be the drone pilot. I don't know, but there's two cars. It's flooded, so they said forget it. It's looking down, green, brown, flow of the water through. You can see a little bit of the water over here. It's cut. There's a lean-to with whatever. You've got a nice. It's interesting. It's good colours. It's an interesting looking down. And if it's flooded, forget it.
And that's first place for Drew Semple.